So, there are a lot of things foreigners struggle with when they first arrive in Korea. Visa application, moving, culture shocks, language barriers. But one thing they shouldn't struggle with is housing. Just having a roof over your head gives you this little bit of safety in a foreign country. I mean, the Korean renting system is quite unique because you have this 𝗙𝗁, this normal renting system, but with a very high deposit. It could be 1 year of rent. And if you're a foreigner and completely new into this country, it's a complete leap of faith to trust someone with that amount of money. That's why today I'm having a conversation with the CEO and partner of this channel, Enkostay, Jae, who is building a platform for foreigners to rent in Korea safely and without a huge deposit. But we will also talk about the vision of Enkostay and how it can shape the future of foreigners in Korea. So have a listen to this full conversation. Before we continue, I want to thank Enkostay for supporting this video. Finding housing in Korea can be confusing, especially if you're new and don't really understand how the real estate system works. Enkostay is built specifically for foreigners. No massive deposit, proper rental contracts for immigration, and flexible stay options for long-term tourists, digital nomads, working holiday, exchange students, and even residents. You'll find more in the description below. So I'm here with Jae, the CEO of Enkostay, and maybe you can introduce yourself.
My name is Jae. Thank you for inviting me. As you mentioned, we have a platform called Enkostay that foreigners can find home without deposit easily. So also we have the community platform that is called Enkoplay. That is, like you said, you can meet international and Korean friends easily. Also, you can have local experience in that. So yeah, we are making a platform service for foreigners to be connected into local community in Korea.
So you have helped a lot of foreigners like settle in Korea, make new friends. What do you think are like the top 3 problems like foreigners face when coming to Korea for the first time?
Yeah, first of all, that is housing, of course. You need a place to stay. Also, after you come into Korea, you have to make an ID card, which is called ARC, registration card for foreigners. But it takes about 3 months, but it needs a lot of documents, and you have to send that into immigration office, but that is a lot of work. So that kind of like paperwork is really difficult, like to have the ID, also about the visa, and that is second thing. And third thing is about the social problem. Like you want to enjoy Korea, right? You want your life in Korea, because maybe you have seen a lot of media that about K-life or K-drama, K-pop, but after you have come to Korea, it's not really easy to socialize with people. So you need more opportunity to make new friends, to enjoy your local life. So I think that 3 things, the housing, and about visa and RC, and the community that you can make friends. I think they are like main top 3 problems, I think.
And me as a foreigner, I can totally agree with all those top 3 problems that I faced personally. Because when you first come to Korea, housing is definitely the first thing that you need to settle, just to have a peace of mind in your home. And second thing is immigration, because if you look up in the internet about how the immigration office works, nobody knows.
Exactly.
So having somebody to guide you through the immigration office is like also, for me personally, a big problem that I saw. And and third thing, socially, like after you watched all the Korean dramas, you went to all the K-pop concerts, now you also want to make Korean friends. I think the top 3 problems foreigners face is
actually there are so many things to enjoy in Korea, because Korean people love to play. But thing is, all the contents are made in Korean, not in English. So it's very difficult for foreigners to find information, like where to go, what to do, what to enjoy. So there must be a bridge that foreigners can enjoy and be connected to local community.
Right.
That's correct.
That's true. What do you wish for Korea to change
to make it easier for foreigners to come and be more attractive as a country, because everybody now loves Korean K-pop, they love dramas, they love Korean food even. And but I think from tourism to stay in Korea longer is a huge gap that is not easily bridgeable. What do you think would need to happen to make Korea more attractive to foreigners to stay?
Yeah, I think there are two sides, from the government side, also from the private sector. So for the government, they have to open more visas. So for example, not only tourist and international students, but also like E9 visa, like for people to work. So like we are suffering from population declining because of low birth rate. So we need more people to work. So I think that should be foreigner population. So we have to open more opportunities for foreigners to come and live, work. So I think that is from the government side. From private sector, we have to make a business model by having foreigners enjoy and live in Korea. So by doing that, the company has to make money. That's how business goes, right? So we are doing business for foreigners, but at the same time, we are making money. So not only in housing sector, but for the visa sector, the job matching, also entertainment, tour. So all the private companies have to build up their own business model. Of course, that should be supported by the government. So by collaborating the government, so we have to make a huge solid business model and make money and have foreigners to be more satisfied. I think that collaboration from two sectors are very important.
Right. So actually, when I see it, a lot of the private sectors, they offering a lot already, but the government sector, they're like, we just give visas to very high educated people or very high level professionals. So it's very hard to find the right visa for certain circumstances. And I've been talking about different visas in Korea and how you can stay. So yeah, I think the visas spectrum definitely have to widen up.
Spectrum has to be much more wide, but also the process should be digitalized, I think. Now, you have to visit and give a paper in person at, you know that, right? At immigration office. But it should be turned into online way so that you can do it very easily with your mobile phone. So that process, transformation should be really necessary, I think.
Now, on a personal question, have you lived abroad and have you experienced the struggle as a foreigner in a different country?
Yeah, that is how I came up with this business idea 15 years ago. I went to England, London, to learn English, and I was not good at English at all. But I met a really good landlord. His name is Donald. He's about 70 years old, and he's really nice. And he took care of me very nice, like his grandson. So he invited me to his Christmas family party. So thanks to him, I could settle down in the UK very easily and without difficulty. But also, I've joined the international students community called All Souls. So from that, I have made really great friends, and then they have welcomed me a lot, and they have taken me nice restaurants and nice spots. So I could have enjoyed my life in London much easily and better. So my life quality became much better because of them. So in summary, thanks to Donald, my landlord, also the international community, the friends, I could make my life really happy in there. So I thought one day, if there are many foreign people or foreign students are coming to Korea to live or study, I want to give this welcoming and warm experience to them in the same way. That's what I thought. And then time has passed, and one day, about in 2018, I have visited a university in Seoul, and I was shocked because there were so many foreign students. So I just asked them, what are you doing here? And then they've said they like Korea, so that's how they came here, and they are studying and they love Korea. And then I asked them, what is your difficulty in Korea? And then they said, finding a house is really difficult. So, then I have to do a share house for foreigners. That's how we started. And it became a platform called Enkostay that foreigners can find housing without deposit easily. So that's how we started. But at the same time, I've thought, then I have to build a community as well, because I have felt the same thing from the international community in our source in the UK, and then I want to have them, feel same welcoming and warm experience. That's how Enkoplay has started. Yeah, that is my personal story behind my business.
Yeah, I mean, usually, a business always comes from a personal pain point that you want to solve.
Exactly.
And if for you to live abroad and experience those pain points, but you at least had one person who guided you through the whole process of settling in a new country, which gave you such a good memory.
Right.
And I imagine a lot of people who like Korea because of the content, but coming to Korea is without any friends or someone who guides them through it, it's very hard. So you providing that kind of opportunity for people who come for the first time is an amazing product and service.
Exactly. So Enkostay should be beyond the housing. We want to make the foreign lifestyle platform, not only house, but also from visa, job matching, entertainment, and tourist. So because there's nothing for foreigners. So we want to make that the value chain so that foreigners could come to Korea and settle down easily and have good memory with us. That is what I want to do. That is our mission and vision.
In that topic, what does Enkostay or Enko with us or Enkoplay stand for?
Our company's name is 𝗙𝗶𝗶𝗴, which stands for Enjoy Korea with us. And Enkostay stands for Enjoy Korea Stay. So Enko actually stands for Enjoy Korea. So we made sub-brand from Enko, about housing platform is Stay, and community, Play. And Enkoplex is the co-living that we are fully operating. So that belongs to us. But in Enkostay platform, there are another host like Airbnb, but Enkoplex belongs to us. So we have the full operation. We have a full operation of this building, 2 buildings in Seoul. So Enkoplex means Enjoy Korea Complex. So not only a place to stay, but also a lot of activities with other international and Korean students together. So it is the place of complex. So Enkoplex means Enjoy Korea Complex, that you live and socialize with others in the building.
So you have a co-living and also co-working and then co-activities, so everything happens together. And currently in this complex, how many foreigners live here and how many Koreans live here?
80% of foreigners out of about 300 people.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a lot.
And the percentage of Korean is becoming higher because there are Koreans who want to live here because they want to experience they live abroad. If you're Korean, if you live here at Enkoplex, you feel like you are living abroad with the foreign people. So that's why I think the number of Koreans are getting higher.
Yeah, and I think this cultural exchange is also very important because I feel like foreigners don't get to interact with Koreans a lot, and Koreans also don't get to interact with foreigners a lot. So a lot of Korean friends I've met, I'm kind of like the first foreigner they meet, and they ask me a lot of questions because if you stay in Korea, it's hard to get out of your Korean mindset and get another mindset. Meeting another foreigner can just widen your mind without being abroad. Right.
That's correct. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And from personal experience, when I first came to Korea, I was an exchange student at Anyang University, and I'm very lucky to be at that university because it has a program that connected foreign students with local students, Koreans. So I got a lot of chance to meet Korean friends.
Yeah.
But if you don't have such a program, then it would be very hard for people to meet Koreans, because I
Exactly.
heard many friends who was like who were in Korea, and it's like I couldn't make any Korean friends because it was hard for them to connect. So could you tell me more about Enkoplay?
Yeah, actually, we've started it last year in 2024. So I've started this business from small branch of share house in 2019, and like I had like 20 and 30 beds, and then I found it they need kind of like activity to enjoy, also opportunity to make new friends. So I've hosted a party, like a house party. So I invited them, the older students that in my share house, and then I invited them, and then they invited their friend. So it became like big party, like for about like 50 people, and then they enjoyed a lot. And then they said like they really appreciate me because they could make friends from another university from all around the world. So they've said to me, if you didn't host us, like I would be just stuck in my university, just like in the area. But thanks to you, I could have made like great opportunity to make new friends. So I really thank you. That's the point that I was really happy in doing this business. So I want to turn this into a business.
Right.
It doesn't make money yet, but at least it makes people happy.
Yeah.
At least it makes people make new friends, and they could enjoy Korean life much better. So we've decided to make a platform that connects you into another community, also make new friends, not only international people, but also Korean people who want to make friends with international people. Yeah, that's how we started this Enkoplay. Enkoplay is casual gathering platform. You can host any event. Like you can find a friend to go to nice restaurant or chimek, whatever, or we can go to 한강 picnic. Also, there is a official edition that we are hosting, like a big party, also a tour to not only in Seoul, but like the other like tourist place. So like all these edition events are free for Enkostay residents. Also other Enkoplay users could pay just little amount of money and they can enjoy this event by us hosting this event. So this is how we started. And so many users are enjoying their local life through Enkoplay.
Yes. What is like the difference between Enkostay, the platform, and for example, like Airbnb and Booking? What is like the point that makes people want to book on Enkostay instead of like Airbnb or Booking?
Oh, that is kind of like a legal system. So Airbnb is accommodation. So to be a host at Airbnb, you need a license. But so many hosts just operate their rooms without the license. But that is okay so far. But now Airbnb has decided to drive them out. So all the hosts without the license can be, a host at Airbnb anymore. So they are coming to us. But Enkostay is rent business. So Airbnb belongs to accommodation part, accommodation sector, like hotel or guest house.
Yeah.
And Enkostay belongs to rental part. So when you book a room at Enkostay, it is you can rent a room from 14 days, normally from 1 month. So that's how they different. But so far, like without license, you could have a room, you could be a host at Airbnb. So many guests have booked a room in there, but now they are banned, it's banned. So there will not be many rooms like before. So because more than 60% of the hosts will be kicked out from Airbnb, but they can host their room at Enkostay because we have the rental business.
Right.
So that's how they different. Also, if you are a student or if you live more than 3 months in Korea, you need to make a ID card, which is called 𝗙C, registration card. And then you need the document of the housing document, like to apply for that.
Yeah, like the contract, right?
Yeah,
The housing
yeah,
contract.
But
Yeah.
Airbnb does not supply that.
Yeah.
But we provide those documents like from the host, like to guest, and then we actually create the proper document for them to apply for 𝗙C. But that is how different. But not only in housing, like we connect them into the community so that they can enjoy various range of activities at almost for free or at very valuable cost, something like that. That's how we are different. Yeah, but the main difference is the legal sector.
Right,
Yeah,
right, right.
Rent and accommodation.
Yeah, so I received so much insight from the interview with you. Where do you envision like Encore to be in the next maybe 10 years or 5 years? Like in the future, what would be like the perfect scenario for you to be in?
Now, like in Korea, like in 5 years' time, I will tell you like two visions in 5 years and in 10 years. In 5 years' time, not only for people staying less than 1 year, but also foreigners staying longer than 1 year, 3 years. So they may rent a room or they may buy a house. So not short period, but longer period. But there's no proper service for foreigners to rent that long period housing property yet. So we wanna extend our business into that level. So like in that process, then they may have to use a bank, right? Because they need to borrow money like to fund in buying house or in doing like 전세 system. 전세 system is like you have to like pay like huge deposit instead of paying rent monthly.
Yeah.
So to do that, you need like equity, right? So like we can connect them into the bank because JB financial investment, like they have invested us, so they are our shareholders. Like we want to build that business model so that the foreigners can loan. That's in 5 years' time, but in 10 years' time, not only stay, but like the banking or visa and job, also tour. We wanna apply this into Asian market because as the as the country is being developed, like the population is going down,
Yeah,
so they need to have workforces, like high quality workforces from abroad. So they need to have more immigrants and more international students to build to keep the company, right? So, but all international students and immigrants, they have the same difficulty in settling down in the country. So, if this business model works in Korea, I think that can work in another country as well, who need to import workforces and the students. So, like in 10 years' time, like we wanna extend this business into like East Asian market and then globally. So Airbnb is like accommodation platform for tourists, but Enkostay is the rental and lifestyle platform for immigrants. That's how we are different. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful vision.
Thank you.
I
Thank you so much.
hope it goes well because I'm a foreigner myself and I love to stay in this country.
Thank you. Thank you for
yeah,
saying
so
that.
it's an amazing platform you're building, and I wish you the best in the future. And I hope we can collaborate on more things.
Likewise. Yeah. I wish you luck with us.
Yeah.
So enjoy Korea with us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.